The Bitcoin Otter Radio Show.
Oh my God, I love you so much!
On 97.7 FM, The City.
Greetings, blessings, and good fortune, everybody. It's another Thursday. Here we are back at the McKellen Creative Incubator. And we're on the best radio station in the world. KCYP The City, 97.7 out of McKellen, Texas. Yes, we're back. Glad to be back. We're on YouTube. We're on Facebook. We're on TuneIn Radio and Radio Garden. We will come to you any way we can. We'll get the message out any way we can because you know what? Our world is crazy, crazy, crazy. Glad to see that we're going to have some people. I'm going to see in a minute, but I got to get on Facebook real quick. So I'm going to the Christopher Ott feed, and then I'll come over here, and I'll go to the Bitcoin Otter feed. And we'll see what's up. What's up with all the stuff going on here? Hang on. Just trying to get in so that I can view with you all and make sure that I can see any. I don't see that we're up on Christopher Ott yet. Let's see if we're up on Bitcoin Otter. Yep, looks like we're up on Bitcoin Otter. Let me get in there. See if we got any comments yet. No, not yet. Let me get on the Christopher Ott bandwagon. Let me see here. Maybe we're just not doing this right. There we go. It's red, which I think means we're on. So let me figure this out. You know, if I had one of my kids or grandkids here, I'd probably be a lot better off with this technical stuff. However, let's see what's going on with this. It's going to come up. It's going to come up. Come on, Facebook. Come on, Facebook. I know you're going to come on here any minute. Well, let me get out. You know what? I'll tell you what. It's been a few weeks. I've missed going on the show. I've missed seeing your comments. I've missed seeing you guys. I really enjoy having these times together. You know, God has given us all a great opportunity just to be in the best country in the world. First of all, to be alive. Second of all, the best country in the world. Third of all, to live in these crazy, crazy times. Say what you will about these times, but they're not boring. That's one thing we don't ever have to say or complain about is a boring time. And that's great because the fact of the matter is exciting times are just that, exciting. It would be more exciting if I could get into the Christopher Ott feed, but I just can't do it. They're blocking me. Apparently, I guess I'm not on the, there we go. Got to get on that Wi-Fi. And I think we're going to come in pretty good after we do that. Once we get on the Wi-Fi, we should be all right. So got Wi-Fi, got a live show, and here we are. Marcos, good to see you. Barry, good to see you out there. Sue, love ya. Hey, I'm glad you guys are out here. Glad you guys are out here. We got a lot to talk about. And throw up your how would you say, your favorite subjects, be they bad, good, or indifferent. What I would like to talk about coming out the gate, okay, is one, God bless you on this very auspicious weekend because we have Good Friday where God gave his only begotten son so that you and I can go to heaven. We have Easter Sunday where after we humans killed this God-man, God said, you know what? I'm bringing him back. And he came back to life. Awesome story. The greatest story ever told, in fact. So I can't top that. What I can say, though, is I'm pretty sure I haven't mentioned the whole Kraken story, right? If you're not, right up with it, you may not know that there is an American cryptocurrency exchange called Kraken. And they just received the inroad to the Federal Reserve banking cartel. I don't know if you guys have been following this. I don't know. Joe, did I do this 3 weeks ago? I don't know if we covered this 3 weeks ago because it's been that long. And I don't like to be away from the show for that long, but it just happened. I had a little vacation. Some things happened. Life happens, right? So what really happened and what I think is happening and is ongoing is the fact that the old guard, the criminal banking cartel is crumbling, ladies and gentlemen. Not as fast as we would like it, but remember, if it did happen fast, we'd be hurting too. It's real to control the demolition of systems like this, because everyone, including us, is dependent upon this system working to some degree or another, right? We got to have electricity. We got to have banking systems of some sort, right? We have to have some sort of interchange of currency. Otherwise, we're going to be, trading chickens and geese, things like that. And I don't know about you guys, but I look in my backyard, I got neither one of them. Maybe some squirrels, but they're hard to catch. So I'm just fine with the Federal Reserve note for now. Okay? So Kraken now has access to this banking system. What does that really mean? My opinion here. It means that Kraken can become a bank. Yeah. And what does that mean to us? Well, we can get an account with Kraken. Not only can we get an account, but we can deposit regular Federal Reserve fiat money, worthless fiat money, or we can trade in our fiat, crappy cash for the crypto of your choice. The best one, I think, is Bitcoin. And you all know by now my second favorite, which is Theta, right? And T-Fuel, which is on that Theta network. But the fact is, you can now deposit cash or you can deposit crypto in Kraken. Now, I don't know if it's up and running yet. However, there will be, especially after this Clarity Act gets clarified, if you will, there will be yields on your deposits, much like there used to be interest paid on your savings account. Not anymore. Why? Because they're paying their cronies. They use the money that we deposit in their bank to lend out 10-to-1, fractional reserve lending. It's criminal, but it's legal. You tell me, how is that legal? It's legal. But Otter, you just said it's criminal. It's criminal. Well, how is it legal if it's criminal? Because the criminals make the laws. See, we're getting somewhere now. Yes. Now everybody's figuring it out. I know we had this figured out a while back, those of us who are in the know. So now you can, with your Kraken account, hopefully soon anyway, get a yield on your Bitcoin, on your whatever it is you want that can actually be given interest back at you. Because Kraken is going to do what banks do. They're going to lend out this crypto, your crypto. How is it going to work exactly? Not sure. What I can say, though, is that we will receive much more in that yield portion of the transaction than we would if we had our, funny money, the Federal Reserve dollar, or whatever they're going to call it, in a savings account at a regular Federal Reserve bank, because they pay us nothing. In fact, we're losing money because of their crazy inflation rates that they would like to hide. You know what I mean? Danny, is that you? I see the thumbs up sign, and usually it's Danny coming in, popping us up with some algorithm varying likes. Thank you very much for that, Danny. So Kraken has that. Kraken. Yeah, that pun intended, I know. So I know everybody's got a few things. Barry pops up. What's he got? Is there any truth to the three-letter agency that starts with a C started Bitcoin? Opinion? I mean, nobody really knows, right? Opinion? No. I don't think so. Why? Because I think it would be much more destructive, first of all. Second of all, guys like Donald Trump and Michael Saylor, geniuses. I mean, Saylor graduated from MIT, and we know, unless you're pretty much in the dark, you don't know how great and intelligent Donald Trump is. People like to make fun of him because he puts on a persona, much like a wrestling persona, in front of the cameras. But the fact of the matter is, he's brilliant. Anyway, these are the types of people that are investing in Bitcoin. So I don't consider myself in that league by any stretch. However, these people are in it. We know they're in it. We can look at the ledgers. They're in it, right? Hey, Frank, good to see you. So I think that's just one of the ways that the usual suspects will use to shake us off the trail of what's going to benefit us and be a detriment to them. That's my opinion, right? There's probably other reasons why that rumor is false. Probably many reasons. But, from where I'm looking, I don't see anything above where I'm at. I'm one of those little guys. So I don't see too much more. I'm not in the financial district sort of thing, But that's where I go, right? And I've studied it, right? So I've put the hours in. The light bulb went on for me. I see what Bitcoin is. I see how resistant to tampering and hacking it is. And yeah, if there's like a backdoor that the 3 letters put in there, it's possible. But also, I'm gonna, and I know this is what they call a logical fallacy, right? Which is something. It's called appeal to authority. However, I have to do that. We all do to a certain degree. When I need something done with my computer, I got kids, right? And one of them's a network engineer, so he's really, really good with computers. So I can go to him. I can ask him questions and actually, bring him over to the house and help me fix my issues, right? Computer issues, because I got a lot of other issues, right? Jaime, good to see you. Can I buy weed and hookahs with crypto? You spelled the hookahs wrong. There's supposed to be an A in there, Jaime. With crypto in other countries. Well, I think there's probably a guy that would know more about that than me. And I think you've seen the guy. I think you even met him, Jaime. I think you've seen the guy in real life. I would wager he would know. He might have even tried such a transaction before. Barry says it would make sense moving dark money around the world. No, Barry, it really doesn't. And here's why. Every transaction on the blockchain, Bitcoin blockchain, is tracked or has the capability of being tracked because it has a unique identifier. See, that's one of the things about Bitcoin that people aren't calibrating right because, well, the usual suspects gave us all this FUD, right? You all know what that means. It's foozled up disinformation, right? Bitcoin can be, if you know the wallets, it can be traced from one side of the world to the next. If you don't know the wallets, well, you got to wait till they pop their head up and either make another transaction or somehow an identifier becomes attached to the wallet. But these transactions are available for all to see on the blockchain. Now, I'll tell you the worst and darkest form of currency. It's called the Federal Reserve Note because that thing has blood all over it. In fact, it's so evil that we had an evil creature as a president one time, and he was sending pellets of the stuff over to Iran. Yeah, this guy, they say he was Kenyan of descent, but I don't think he was really that. I think he was more of the Indonesian persuasion, but that's just me. You know what I mean? So yeah, the deepest and darkest, most evil form of currency on the world stage right now is called the Federal Reserve Note. Because the people that own the Federal Reserve are some of the most evil people in the world. Their network is evil. The U.S. dollar has more dark world money all over it, or blood all over it, than any other currency. My opinion, right? So, and it's much more difficult to track. Cash is cash. Where are you gonna trace it to unless it was in a bank at some time? And then if it's one of their criminal cronies, well, they're not going to be prosecuted, right? So I thought he was from Chicago, says Barry. Yeah, he was from Chicago when he was on his and this is me. I've researched this stuff. You guys research it to the extent you guys want to, but Barack Hussein Obama came to the United States, and this is provable, by the way, on a student visa, Why? Because he's not a United States citizen. So he came here on a student visa. And I think he was already farm raised by that point. Farm raised is going back to your 3-letter reference, Barry. So the farm, you get it. I'm winking here for those of you that are driving a vehicle and you can't watch. I'm winking, and if you know what the farm is, then you know. If you know, you know. So let me see who else is up here. Sue's on both. Hey, Sue. Say hi to Dad. Dad, if you're watching, God bless you. Easter's coming up. Hope you guys have a great Easter dinner. So, yeah, there's the whole Hussein thing, right? I want to talk a little bit, guys, about the big thing going on, right? The big thing, the big operation, the big mission, Iran. Please, you're all patriots. You wouldn't be tuning in if you weren't a patriot of the United States or wherever it is you are, okay? We have friends and family in Mexico. Be a patriot of Mexico. You're from Canada, man. Be a Canadian patriot, okay? Whatever nation that you're blessed to be a citizen of, be a patriot. I am, of course, an American patriot, but first, the kingdom that is, ruled by the King of all kings, Jesus Christ, is my home. That's where I'm the most patriotic. And then America is where I was born. So I've lived here my whole life. I am a patriot. Thank God I can do these things. We live in a free land. For the most part, we live in a free land. If we win this war that's been going on since probably, I mean, there's a lot of people that say a lot of different things. I mean, we could call it the first shot was Kennedy. John F. Kennedy was killed by the usual suspects. Sue says, what about oil as currency? It's pretty corrupt if you ask me. Of course it is. In fact, why is it that it's being hiked up? Not just now, but always. It's been high. I mean, we go back to the 70s. They had that oil crunch. They still to this day have people convinced that the oil that is refined into gas and goes into your car was once dinosaurs. So your cars run on dinosaur juice, says the science. Now, the science I'm talking about is an S with two. It's a dollar sign. Dollar sign C-E-I or I-E. Yeah, I before whatever, except after C. S-C with the S being the dollar sign, C-I-E-N-C-E, right? Ladies and gents, it's all fake, okay? Oil is a naturally occurring substance within the earth, and we have a lot of it. But they don't want us to know that because they want to shove solar down our throat. They want to shove windmills down our throat. That's pretty big to go down. Yeah. Anyway, they want to shove these stupid green, okay, things down our throat because they cost a lot of money and they really make it difficult for us to exist. Not only that, they can launder money through these programs by giving NGOs our tax dollars. Doesn't it work great for them? Doesn't it work great for our enemies? It sure does. But we have people fighting for us, and that's the beauty of it. What's going on in Iran? Iran is just the latest node of the usual suspects. Hopefully it's one of the biggest. I know it's one of the biggest. Hopefully once this goes, I won't say we have a clear path ahead of us yet. Okay, I won't say that completely. But man, it's a biggie, right? So let's take the score. What have we cleared? What have the patriots of the United States military, along with the tip of that spear, right, Donald J. Trump, what have they done? What have they neutralized? What have they brought into the fold? Pretty much, I want to say one of the first ones is North Korea, right? I mean, North Korea was a proxy node for war. It was a tinderbox at any time. They could start a world war with, Kim Jong-un's happy finger. Bam, they would have it. Yeah, we knew it wasn't. We now know it wasn't him. It was a 3-letter, like you were talking about earlier, Barry. It was a 3-letter proxy state that they really used to their advantage. But it was neutralized by the good guys, right? And we move forward in time. El Salvador, right? Do you really think El Salvador jailed all of MS-13 without any help? Did they have the resources? Did they have the opportunity? Did they have the money? I don't know. But I'm pretty sure that we helped them, right? And then as things sped up, man, wow, we've got Argentina came into the fold. We had Venezuela came into the fold. We're working on Iran, guys. We're working on Iran. And what's the newest one? What's the newest one? Cuba. I can imagine Cuba is going to be, it's going to be what? Casinos. It's going to be tourism. It's going to be whatever. We're going to open up Cuba like it's an adjunct to Florida. And that's, hey, Florida, do you. But the fact of the matter is Cuba's a pretty cool place without communism. And then you see earlier, I think it was it last week? Somebody throw it up there if you got anything on there. But last week, I think it was Castro Jr. I don't know if it's Fidel Castro Jr. or something like that. He was basically saying on this interview that, hey, I'd like to have a talk with Donald Trump. I think we could do some business here. Ladies and gentlemen, it's going to be liberated sooner or later, and I hope sooner. Oh, again, Saudi Arabia. That was a big one. That was huge, man. Saudi Arabia created that creature called Barack Hussein Obama. Don't believe me? Look it up. You'll see it, right? So Iran is another domino, ladies and gentlemen, and they're getting bigger, right? Iran supposedly had nukes. Iran supposedly they're getting the uranium enriched, right? All this is the fear mongering. It was at a fever pitch. Donald Trump did what he did. He's doing what he's doing. Now we've got a little bit of how would you say? We got some breathing room there, and we're going to find out based on what goes on in the Strait of Hormuz, right? We're going to find out if it gets opened up to everybody or they're going to leave it as a toll booth, like basically it has been, right? The deep state players have been controlling Iran, who controlled the Strait of Hormuz. So all that oil going through there had to pay the toll, man. You got to pay the toll, the VIG, right? You got to pay it. So now the United States military is saying, okay, would you rather have this? Because it is international waters. International law says it's open to everybody, right? So do you want us to open it up? Do you want us to make it free? Or do you want Iran to charge you millions of dollars per tanker or more going through the Strait of Hormuz? Well, I would say let's make it free. And I think that's what's going to happen. So we'll see. We'll see what happens with that. But I guess I'm going backwards here. But the Lloyds of London scam is done. It's done because they're not going to insure any tankers going through. But it doesn't matter because the U.S. military is going to insure them. Believe it or not, there was already a company made, created, designed for just such a thing. You don't think our patriots are thinking right? You don't think they're thinking ahead? Of course they are. They know it. They know it. They know what's going on. They know the playbook of the evil. I almost slipped. We got kids watching. The evil people, right? So Iran is just another one, ladies and gents. I have some good news, though. Just today, and if you remember January 6th the way I do, just today, Tina Peters, a great patriot, she was, I think it was Arizona or Colorado, the criminal enclave, the communist enclave of Colorado, cheated enormously in the last election. 2020 election. And a woman named Tina Peters, legally under the purview of her responsibility, was checking ballots and she was comparing the ballots with the names and the signatures and all that stuff, right? She was doing all that by, her job description, and they jailed her. Yeah, they jailed her. And because they're communists, they gave her 9 years. This woman's in her 60s, I think. 9 years in jail, right? Ladies and gentlemen, this is cruel and unusual punishment, but they're communists. We should expect nothing less. Today, however, somebody leaned on somebody, and the appellate court actually said, you know what? Part of this was her freedom of speech, so we're going to have a sentencing hearing. So they're going to do that. Now, it is a hellhole, the government of Colorado. It's just like California, New York, Illinois, Michigan. Arizona is a captured state, right? So this has been going on for a while. We know this. It's no surprise, but I just think it's great. And a lot of us were praying for Tina Peters because she's a patriot and she's not what you would consider a really young person. So for her to go that long in prison is not good. Somebody beat her up in prison, or she got in a fight, or the usual suspects. The communists have ways of getting in there and messing with people, right? Here's something that I'd like to tell you about Tina Peters. Not only was she suffering for the people like you and me that want fair elections, she, in her state, did the American thing. And a lot of times we talk about this. Hey, how do you know you're a patriot? Do you stand up? Do you voice your opinion when you know that there's something going on wrong here in the United States? Do you share this opinion with people? These are things that we can do as regular citizens, right? We're not going to go into the streets and take the law into our own hands. Sure, somebody's messing with our family. Oh, we're going to do what we have to do to protect our family, our neighbors, and so forth. We're going to do everything we need to do to protect our own. But as far as doing what the criminals do, we're not going to do that. We're not going to go blowing up businesses like Trans-Tifa does. We're not going to, pelt vehicles with bottles and so forth and jump up and down in cars, turn over police cars like BLM. We're not going to do that, right? We're not those people. So somebody like Tina Peters, what a patriot. She is the type of person that we can look up to. You know what I mean? So if you have room in your prayers for a woman like Tina Peters, hopefully that resentencing hearing will come quick and she'll be released. An interesting, I guess you could call a little tidbit here, an interesting article I read in Germany. And what they were saying about this academic study was that, you know what? German men, German males in general, don't want to, or I'm sorry, German males are one thing. The German females don't want to connect, mate with, if you'll use that term, immigrants. Right now, the asylum people that are all on fake asylum. Everybody knows it's a fake asylum. They don't really want it. They don't really need it. They just want to conquer. So the German women don't want to get with them. Can you imagine why? And it doesn't matter that the German women don't want to get with them, because they certainly do want to get with the German women, the American women, the British women, the Irish women, the Nordic women, all of them, Swedish women, right? Sweden is the RAPE capital of the world, ladies and gents, because these immigrants are not immigrants. They're invaders. They're not there to assimilate. They're there to conquer. Okay? Say what you will about the illegal immigrants of our own country, but they're not like the ones that are in Europe, I'll tell you that. Now, I wonder how this study went. I breezed over it, that they seem surprised. The wingnuts in the, they call it liberal, but it's not a liberal academia. It's not a liberal journalism. It's communist. Let's just call it what it is. And they seemed a little bit surprised. And I was thinking to myself, wait a minute, are they really surprised? Did they really think that women who are in their homes, their home country, their home town or whatever they're in, are they going to really want to get with these foreigners that don't know their language, that have no interest in learning about them? They just want one thing, No. And then these same immigrants are going to make slaves and prisoners of these women. So what's the upside for these women? Nothing. So there was my surprise, not really, but kind of, at the surprise of the academics that said, gee, German women don't want to mate with the Islamic invaders. They didn't use the term invaders. That's mine. We're at about 6:30 right now. This is Central Time. We're at 7:30 Eastern Time, which means we're going to tell you where we're coming from. This is KCYP 97.7, The City, out of McAllen, Texas. Yes, it's terrestrial radio, but it also goes out on YouTube. It's going out on Facebook. It's going out on TuneIn Radio and Radio Garden apps. Those last two were apps. I have them on my phone. They are nice. You can check them out. Listen to KCYP The City and every other radio station that's on there around the world. It's around the world, right? So there's a few other things I want to talk about. I'm also game to talk about what you guys want to talk about. And if we don't have, for whatever reason, a great subject, we'll just go about our day. But the last subject that I have on my list here, doesn't mean we're going to stop with this one, but this one is very interesting. It's a person that embodies a system. It's not a nice system. It's not a correct system. It's not a valid system. It's called DEI. I guess that's diversity, equity, and inclusiveness. So it's a scam, as you might imagine. It's a Marxist construct, as you probably already know. And what it does is it ruins the society in which it is birthed, okay? There is a face for that system right now. And that face belongs to a woman named Ketanji Brown. I don't remember her third name. Ketanji Brown. Can't remember. Just slipping my you might be able to throw that up there. I really don't know. I can't remember Ketanji Brown, whatever. But you know what? She pretends like she knows things. She pretends that she knows the constitutional law upon which our system of law and system of justice was based. And as she does this, she wears this robe, and she is one of only 12 people that sit on the Supreme Court of America. She makes everyone realize how ignorant she is just by opening her mouth, just by speaking. We all know how ignorant she is because she makes no sense. I think I put up a post earlier today about who she believes. So that they citizenship. That was the purpose for birthright citizenship. Now, I don't want to say sane countries because there's a lot of European countries which are, of course, not sane because, well, they're Europe. And they don't have birthright citizenship just by the fact that you're born there. Doesn't mean Jackson. Thank you very much, Barry. So just because you're born there doesn't mean you get citizenship. And what Ketanji Brown Jackson or Jackson Brown is saying, and I don't think she's any relation to Jackson Brown, the singer. I don't know if I'm wrong, correct me. But Ketanji was telling us that if you were in Japan, let's say, and you were arrested for, I don't know what her example was, if you were subject to their laws, then by assimilation, you had an allegiance. And therefore, if you were born, it would be like you were born there. So if you're born in a place like Japan and you're under their laws, well, then you're a Japanese citizen. Completely false. Japan does not have a birthright citizenship. But she wanted to make a point. As ignorant as it was, she tried to make a point. Why? Because she was put there for a reason, ladies and gentlemen. She was installed for a reason. She was installed to carry the water of the communist state. But you know what? That bucket has many holes. And that bucket is gaining more and more holes every day. Thank God. Because it won't hold water anymore. We're going to see. We're going to see how quickly this all happens. So another problem with birthright citizenship is this. The Chinese have completely weaponized it. So apparently they're having kids born through surrogate mothers. So you send a bunch of your manhood over to America. You have women who get paid to be inseminated by your seed, they carry the baby to term. Now you've got an American. So some of these Chinese people that have American citizen children are bringing them back to China. They're training them up in who knows what. Then they're coming back to be operatives. Not good ones either. Okay. So it's like a farming of humans. It's sick, it's sad, but it's true. So this whole idea that birthright citizenship is a good thing for the United States, it's not. It's not. Have we so-called honored it for a long time? We have. But you know what? It's not in accordance. That honoring of that was not in accordance with the original intent of birthright citizenship when it was written into law. That's just me. I'm no lawyer, but I'm also no Katanji. Okay? So somewhere in the middle, I'd like to say. So all that to say that birthright citizenship is not a good thing in my mind. Any of you guys got something to talk about? Now's the time. Because if not, I'm going to sign off and I'm going to let everybody go into their Easter break. And I don't like that word. Let me go just a little bit longer if you don't want to talk about something specific. Easter is not a good word. Why is Easter not a good word, Otter? Easter means something in the pagan religion. It's either a contraction or a substitute for the word Ishtar, which is a pagan god. Okay? And there is only one true God. So this is not a celebration of any other God than the one that was crucified for you and me and then rose again on the third day. He is God. He is our King. So I would much rather go along the sentiments of the Spanish word, Pascua, right? It's basically what we would call in English the Passover. We are passed over from the wrath of God because the blood of Christ is on us. We have partaken of the greatness of Jesus Christ and the blood that he shed on our behalf. So we, as we die, this shell dies, we are born again. Not only when we're on earth, but when we go to heaven. Because the fact of the matter is, ladies and gents, you don't have a soul. You are a soul. You have a body. When you put things in perspective like that, I'm not the author of this. When you put things into perspective like that, you can reframe much of the things we think of when we use the term life. Because life in this shell has a termination point. Life for what is within the shell doesn't. We will live forever, ladies and gentlemen. We get to decide. Are we going to hitch on to the winning team with Jesus? Or are we going to choose the losers and go where they go? Let's not do that. So on today's eve of Good Friday, tomorrow being that Good Friday, I ask that God would bless us, listening, watching now or in the future. And also, I would ask that God would bless our families, that God would bless our nation and our world. I know that evil has run rampant in our world. I know this. I'm not unaware of this. Yet, God has a way of staying his hand of justice, ladies and gents. And he even told us so in the Bible. He said that if my people bend their knee, if they repent, if they humble themselves and come before me, says God, I will forgive them. And that's what I ask for, that he stays his hand of justice, because we deserve it. We deserve it. But that he just holds on a little longer. Lord, give our kids and grandkids a chance at a good life and the ability to further your kingdom in your spirit. That's my prayer. That is my prayer. Sam, good to see you, Sam. He says to Jaime, buy American. Barry says, Christ is king. Amen, brother. Amen. I can't I can't really say anything with human words that is worth more than that, right? Because to acknowledge the king is hopefully in some way or form furthering his kingdom, which means more people get to go to heaven. So Jaime returns. They're too tall. Buy American, they're too tall. I don't know exactly how that works, but Jaime, you too are blessed this Pascua. Again, I just went into this. If you guys just tuned in, the English word of Easter is insufficient. So that said, I want to bless you guys with the prayer for all of you out there. May God bless you. May God bless your families. May God bless America. And as I sign off, I want to let you all know that you are in my thoughts. You are in my prayers. Thank you, Sam. Contact me if you need something, even if it's just a prayer. Hey, Otter, man, this is going on in my life. Or you don't even tell me something's going on. You just need some prayer. I would be honored, more than honored, to pray for you in your time of need. It is my honor, literally. So on this Passover weekend, where we celebrate what God did for us on the cross, what God did for us in reviving the complete resurrection of Jesus Christ for us, the proof that what he did was for us. And now he's got his kingdom not only here on earth, but waiting for us. In that, I ask God to bless you and your family. Thank you. May I see you again next week on the Bitcoin Otter Show. God bless you, and God bless America. Otter's out.
This is the Bitcoin Otter Radio Show.
Oh my God, I love you so much.
On 97.7 FM, The City.